Hello, everyone. This is Kate Dove. I'm here with Brittany Mason and Amanda Hunt. Brittany is a doula and the co founder of the Femtech company This Is Spaceware, where she and her co founder are currently launching the KB5 Knotted Belly Bind for postpartum care. Amanda is the CEO of Davin and Adley, where she designs maternity and nursing bras with both comfort and functionality for new moms in mind. These two ladies are beginning a collaboration to personalize and elevate women's postpartum experiences, and we're going to hear more about their journeys today. Ladies, welcome. It's so great to chat with both of you. Before getting into anything, because you guys have a lot coming up with this collaboration, can you start with how you guys met and what inspired the collaboration?
Yeah, Amanda, you
Uh,
want to take that?
yeah. So I have been doing a lot of networking with doulas in the local area just to be able to bring a little bit more information to my brand. As a nursing and pumping bra designer, I want to make sure that I am always touching on the current problems that moms have with products out on the market, and what better fit than to work with local doulas and also lactation who are with the moms in the early stages of their motherhood journey. So I had been introduced through another doula to Britt, where we started talking about how we can support moms together in this space, and I'm really looking forward to be able to introduce this belly bind to my audience as well.
I'm going to take that a step further. Kate, you actually know the person who introduced us. It is Emily, my backup doula and my doula partner. So
Oh,
full
cool.
circle. um, I I think that's important because community and women getting together is so important, right? For all different reasons. Collaboration obviously being one of them, but my doula partner is everything I am not. And she loves networking. She's really good at it. I'm not. I don't do great with small talk. I like to go real deep, real fast. And Emily is a bridge, and she gives me a lot of connections to the community that I otherwise might not have. I'm a little bit stay siloed, and I need people to bring that out in me, and so I rely heavily on community. So I'm really grateful to Emily for always connecting me to the right women at the right time.
It's a full circle moment. Like, women need community postpartum, and community is what brought you guys together. So that's great. I wanted to ask you guys if you ever saw yourself getting into a space that is apparel based. So, Amanda, I want to start with you and just learn more about your history, your journey, and how you got into designing maternity bras.
Yeah, of course. So I actually went to school for fashion design. I have my bachelor's in design, and I have been working previously as a bra designer in Philadelphia. I worked for some of the much larger brands like Free People, Anthropologie, Urban Outfitters. That's where I got a lot of my bra background and education. And once I became a mom, I saw this huge gap in the market for moms who are still looking to have fashion and beauty as part of their life and kind of blend those two worlds together. So I pivoted from regular mass market apparel into this maternity area where I've been specializing for the last 6 years. And I just absolutely love designing product for real women in the stages of life where they really truly need it the most.
Yeah, I'm gonna cheerlead for her for a moment because Free People is hands down one of my favorite brands. Like I picked this boho background, right? Like that definitely speaks to me as a woman before I had a baby and after I have a baby. I love that brand. And I think that's important because so much of that transcends into her design. And she has this cami that she gifted me, and I wore to California, and I was like rocking it. I'm not nursing. Like, I haven't been pregnant. I haven't nursed in 10 years. And I was wearing this, and I loved it. And my girls back home were like, what are you wearing? Is that like lingerie? And I'm like, look at this, like the nipple comes out. You wouldn't even know. She has incorporated so much into her design that I think a lot of postpartum products just lack. Like they just don't have it. So she has that oomph and like that's something that you want, that when you put on you feel sexy and you feel a little bit more like who you may have felt like before you had a baby, right? There's this grief. You and I, Kate, we talked about this, right? There's this grief that comes in postpartum, no matter what you're doing, whether you're pumping or breastfeeding, it doesn't matter. So to put something on that makes you feel a little bit more like yourself is what we want. We as women want. So a woman designing for women, I mean, come on. Okay.
Thank you.
That's how I feel though. We need more talking about why women designing for women.
That's why I started. That was like the whole heart behind the designs, that I felt that as a woman bra designer, I could bring something to these women in this motherhood community that is so lacking and so desperate for attention. And there are very few maternity brands that actually have a mom that's designing for them beyond even just a woman. We need a mom who's been through it. I breastfed all three of my kids for 8 years combined. So I have not only that firsthand experience, but I've already have the industry knowledge too.
Mm-hmm. And Britt, you bring the same ethos into This Is Spaceware and the KB5. So I would love if you guys could go into why you feel like women need to invest in themselves postpartum, because I know, Britt, you mentioned we were talking about grief when it comes to the end of pregnancy and postpartum, and Amanda, you have 3 children, so I would love if we could go into why women need products that not only are functionable, but also make them feel just beautiful and sexy and like themselves.
Yeah, I'm gonna just say that like we're baby centric, right? Like everything is about the baby. And I mean that's wonderful. We love the baby, right? But the mother had the baby. So the woman who had the baby needs to feel loved, held, appreciated, supported, and sexy and all of the things so that the baby thrives. So when the mom is thriving, the baby's thriving. And if she's not, let's give her products that help this journey. The KB5 was designed in mind with women who had babies, whether it's C-section or whether it is a vaginal delivery. And when I met Amanda and we were talking and she showed me all of her products, of course, it's a no-brainer. Why wouldn't we collaborate? I mean, it's absolutely, we're not competing. We are supporting women in the same space, and we want women to have options. And this is where when you have cross collaboration, you can support and introduce women to new products, new ideas, traditions, all of it that helps sustain and usher you into motherhood so that you're thriving.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned tradition, so can you elaborate on how belly binding has been used throughout the years and how you and Amanda plan on incorporating that into your collaboration?
Yeah, well, so we know traditional belly binding's been around for as long as birth has, right? The womb stretches and expands, so does the breast, right? The breast expand. And I will just say I was a part of the itty bitty titty community. Like that was me before I had a baby. And now I'm 42 and my body has shaped and shifted and it continues to. The beautiful thing about Amanda's products is that I said, I'm not even breastfeeding and I'm wearing it and I love it. What does that tell you? When you buy one product, that's longevity, right? And that gives you an ability to spend maybe a little bit more, but you're investing in quality. And why would you not invest in quality for yourself, right? Why does the baby get, again, back to the baby, why is the baby getting everything? So tradition and meeting women where they are in our modern society, this gives them what they want. Bind your belly for support, have really beautiful nursing bras that you can wear after you're done nursing. No brainer.
Amanda, were you familiar with belly binding before speaking with Bray and talking about how you guys can incorporate your products together?
So I personally was never introduced to belly binding during any of my pregnancies, which is actually, a great thing to say that there's not enough education on belly binding, and as a community, we need to do better. The only exposure I've ever had to a belly binder was during my sister's C-section. She was given the Velcro, very standard belly binder. And otherwise, I never, was able to wear one. I had 3 vaginal births, so I didn't realize that it was something that I should have incorporated into it. I've also seen some videos throughout social media of the traditional belly binding where you have to manually knot everything, which is very time consuming. But that's basically all I know. And I'm an experienced 3-time mom, so I can tell you there's not enough education on belly binding, especially for vaginal delivery.
And do you feel like there needs to be more education around maternity bras as well? Because I've seen your products, I'm excited to try them myself, but like you have such a great way of designing them to where like the mom can adjust the strap with one hand, and like there's space in the underbust, and like going back to what Britt said, like I'm a girl with small boobies right now too, and I'm like, oh my god, what's gonna happen to them? And in your designs there is room, it looks like, for adaptation. Where was I going with that? Pregnancy brain. Let's circle back.
So, yes, I agree that we need to also educate new moms on maternity, nursing, and pumping, because I do events with new moms, and I just got back from one 2 days ago, and I had to explain the difference between maternity, nursing, pumping, that sometimes bras are only one thing, but mine are a combination where it's flexible for your maternity and then you can transition into nursing. And if you choose to pump, you have that option as well. That's not standard. And there's very little education on how large your breasts get when you start to breastfeed. So I've been doing a lot of education in my content on social media and on my blog, where I help moms understand what to expect from when you're starting off in your pregnancy to postpartum, and how much room you need to allow in your bra. And we take into account those changes so that you're not changing bras from your pregnancy into breastfeeding.
Something that I notice with both the belly bind and the bras is that there really is room for changes, and I think that a lot of products out there are very rigid. So with that being said, I also wanted to ask, what are some themes that you guys have seen amongst women who are postpartum when it comes to the kind of support that they need? Are there any specific words or feelings that you have noticed stand out that has led to this more adaptable design in your products?
Yeah, I'll say something about breastfeeding and just the challenge of knowing what to buy. First of all, the challenge of knowing how your breasts are going to get larger, what product would be best suited for you if you have sensory issues. If you have very big, large breasts, now you're limited even more with design and how sexy and cute your product can be, right? So the more that we educate women on choices and options, and we look at why, for example, why I choose the material that I choose in the KB5, and why Amanda chooses the materials that she chooses, right? This is exactly why the more information options women have, the better it is. But also it gets overwhelming, right? So you want to have, executive authorities like myself, or I'd like to think, and Amanda, where you can get some real answers and some straight, like, this is what works and this is what other moms are saying, and this is why you should give us a try.
So I'll jump into, as you were mentioning about, why we do what we do. There's so many options out there, but they're not necessarily the right options for moms. So I try to take a lot of that guessing out of it. by educating. I do free size consults with my moms to help pull them in and educate them and say, you don't have this type of breast pump, so this isn't the right bra for you. Or you're going to be nursing, you might rather look at this style because this has a magnetic nursing clip. I try to help guide them and be that experienced mom that they can relate to. And I'm not just a brand owner. I try to really connect with the community and the moms that come to me for that support, which is very unique and that's special. And I purposely pick fabrics because they're either they help with the breasts, the support without being thick and constrictive. They help with breast health. I pick what I do because it's also great for moisture. It doesn't collect all that moisture at the breast if you're leaking. It dries quick and it doesn't pull up on you that extra around your breast area. So there's so much that goes into it that you wouldn't even think about. How would you know just going to Amazon or going to Target? You have no idea what you're picking. This is a more specialized, I hold their hand and I help them make that decision and make a more informed decision from day one.
And I can totally relate to the Amazon thing because not too long ago, I was like, I really should get some nursing bras or something. And I went on Amazon and it was just like, there's a plethora of options, but they're mass produced and they're not personalized. So I think it's really amazing that you guys have this relationship with your customers as well, where you understand what they need, how to help them, how to give them an experience that elevates them. Because going back to what we were talking about earlier, we are in a very baby-centric society and the mother is sometimes forgotten. In your own postpartum experiences, did you have anything come up around self-esteem or what you were wearing and just how you looked and felt as you went further into motherhood?
That is the full reason here that I do what I do. Especially working in the fashion industry, I felt so disconnected once I was the first one out of the girls to have a baby. I went from wearing the beautiful Free People lingerie to, and obviously being part of the design team, and then I had to go wear these very boring plastic nursing clip bras, and it kind of became the joke that, oh, like the ugly bras are the maternity bras. So trying to mentally accept the changes with both my body and now that I have to change what I wear because I can't feed my baby if I don't wear these bras, that really got to me, and I felt like I lost my identity with my fashion and the way that I dressed, and I didn't want to accept that I was no longer able to be part of that space. So I wanted to change the rules of the way that it worked postpartum, and that really is why I decided to go forth and do this maternity collection.
Yeah, I just want to say, as you were saying, first of all, I was laughing at that because what woman, what woman after birth has not felt to some degree something about how she looks? There is just no escaping that. So that is part of being made into mother, right? Your body goes through a huge physical transformation. And so when I was listening to Amanda say all that, I was thinking about my clients. I was thinking about the women who have careers, who put everything into careers and then want babies, but then also have to go right back into the board meetings, who are also pumping in between their meetings. Or sometimes they might just be on camera from here up and you don't even know the baby's nursing or that they're pumping, right? So as Amanda was saying that, I am looking at her beautiful cami in the back with the lace, and I'm thinking, like, imagine you have the KB5 Knotted Belly Bind over a black cami, you have your blazer on, you are in a meeting, and now because you are supported in your belly, you're sitting up a little bit straighter. You feel a little bit stronger, even though your body feels very vulnerable. And you feel as though everybody is talking and knows what you're going through. When you have products that sort of hit this emotional component, this heart part of the journey, it feels better to be in motherhood. And motherhood feels lonely in our society. It really does. And, you know, I just want women to feel somewhat seen again, and that they are beautiful in their motherhood, right? And that comes with having products that feel good and make you feel that journey is what it should be.
I want to touch on what you were saying about posture for a second because I actually didn't mention this to you, but a few weeks ago I had my sister over at my house and I was like, hey, so I have this belly bind. I'm going to use it postpartum. Can you just try it on so I can like look at it, from an outsider view? So she put it on. She was like, oh my God, this feels really good on my back. And just what you were saying about posture, I think when we sit up a little bit taller and we feel that lift that is supportive but not restrictive, emotionally it has to have some kind of effect because now it's like, you're presenting yourself in a more confident way, which I think creates this really beautiful chain effect for women where they can use the belly bind, they can use the nursing bras as a way to just feel better about this new identity and this new world that they've come into.
Yeah,
There's
that's
actually a lot of, I'm sorry, there's a lot of research on the way that you look and feel and your postpartum depression or mood and how those two are intertwined. So if you have very, uncomfortable garments, you have stuff that doesn't make you feel good, by elevating that, there's actually connection to your mood and how your postpartum recovery is.
because we are creatures of oxytocin. Our nervous systems are wired differently. And when we take that into account a little bit more in all systems, we will see better outcomes for women altogether, right? We want to be held, we need to be nurtured, we love to feel connected, and that's part of design. Right? How do you give that to a woman, right? That comes through really good design.
And with that, I want to get into the trifecta that you guys have coming soon with the nursing bra, the KB5 belly bind, and the compression shorts, it was, I
Yep.
believe. Okay.
Yeah, so I'll show the shorts here. So we make these compression shorts that are high-waisted for postpartum recovery. They're really the perfect underneath garment for under the belly bind. So you wouldn't want to have that just up against your skin. You want to have some type of support garment underneath. So this is a great starting piece to be able to have that. And then our cami is something that you can both nurse and pump on the upper portion. And that is a great way to feel that support in the top half while you have the belly bind and the compression underwear underneath. So all of this really comes together in what we call a postpartum recovery bundle.
And Britt, can you go into the functions of the knots on the KB5?
Yeah, I mean the knotting system is 5 knots and it comes up the midline. The midline is obviously exactly where the muscles come together and get stretched out as we make space for the baby. So as you so going back to compression, right, and going back to feeling good, the fascia stretches. So compression shorts, a knotted belly bind, anything, honestly, even wrapping your belly. Let's say you don't buy the KB5. You still want to wrap your belly, right? You still want to wrap your womb space. There is benefit for compression, gentle compression after birth. So when Amanda and I were talking and she was showing me her cami and the shorts, I'm like, okay, let's put this all together. Like, let's make this simple for a mom. Put this in your cart and have a nice bundle, or buy this for your friend who's having a baby, right? This is exactly why we're collaborating, to make it easier on the brain of mothers. And we all need that.
Exactly. And Kate, the bundle is on its way to you, and I can't wait to hear for your postpartum recovery how this supported you and was able to, assist in your recovery.
Yes, thank you so much. I can't wait because I'm gonna be honest, like leading up to this point, because like I mentioned earlier, I'm a bit of a smaller girl, I just never really paid attention to bras. I was always like, let me just wear a cami or a tank top. So even when I was looking for nursing bras, I had no idea what to look for or what would give me the right support. And actually, the ones that I ordered a few weeks ago on Amazon, when I tried them on, they were just like so prickly around the ribs, you know? And I think it's really great that you guys are able to utilize high quality materials so that way the body can actually make progress postpartum while looking and feeling good and all that. So, yeah, I'm really excited for that. And what else can people look forward to in this collaboration? I know you guys have that bundle. Is there anything else that you guys have in the works that people can look forward to?
We're going to be doing a lot of education for the community. As I said before, there's very little education on belly binding, and there's so much that Britt can contribute to, I know, my community and the way that they can use that as part of their postpartum recovery. So definitely look out for some blogs that we're going to co-write together, some more education on social media, some posting, and I feel like there's a lot to be done here that we can support each other's communities.
And for everyone listening, you can go to This Is Spaceware on Instagram. There's a lot of educational info on there. And then there's also the Davin and Adley Instagram account. I've seen you're doing some educational things on there too. So if you're listening to this and you're like, I don't know where to start, I'm not really sure how this benefits me, you can go to the social media pages and there's a plethora of information on there. And more that is coming. And lastly, I would love if you could describe in 3 words what you want this collaboration to bring to women's postpartum experience.
Now you're challenged.
3 words.
My gosh. Okay.
I know 3 words is like, I have 3 paragraphs.
Just to simply say, better postpartum outcomes.
Yes. Okay. I mean, I can't top that. That's it right there.
And whatever that means, whether it's your breastfeeding outcomes because you felt supported by other women, whether it's your overall recovery because your body healed better with better education, there's so much that can be done for better postpartum outcomes.
I don't have 3 words, but I will just say slow down. Yeah, being productive is doing nothing in the first 40 days.
Yeah, we're in a culture that's very like go go go.
Yes.
And everyone wants to hustle, and like ambition is good, like all that's good, but there's something about slowing down that I think is just very grounding. And especially with the KB5, just going through the 5 knots down the midline, it really lets you take in a deep breath. And I'm due today, haven't had the baby yet, but when I have the baby, I'll be able to get the full experience and report back to the internet. But yes, the KB5 is very intentional. And if you're someone who is used to always being on the go and kind of just throwing on your clothes and rushing through things, these products are a great opportunity to slow down and to be able to look in the mirror and say, actually, I look really good today and I feel good about my body. So I think that's really beautiful that both products, well, I should say all 3 products, can provide that to women.
Yeah. Thank you, Kate, for your time today. And I know it was a big night because due date and all of that, but when are due dates right? Usually not. So thank you for your time. Amanda, thank you for, coming together and collaborating. We're both so passionate and I appreciate your willingness to jump in with me immediately, right? We barely even met and we were like, let's do this. So thank you for that.
I think it's always very natural when you come together with someone else who's just as passionate about helping moms. I mean, there's no time to waste. We're excited to push forward and get both products out to more new moms for, again, that better postpartum recovery.
Yeah.
And create community all with it too, with having the internet and social media. I mean, yes, we need more in-person community, and like I love that the three of us are local, which is really cool, but it's also great that we can create community statewide, countrywide, worldwide, if we want to go that big.
I mean,
So,
postpartum is a global thing. So, yeah.
It brings us together no matter where you live. I have clients in Australia, on the other side of the world, I mean, everywhere. We can help support moms in any country.
Absolutely. Thank you, ladies, so much for doing this podcast interview, and I'm looking forward to seeing all that you guys are creating.
We'll jump
Thank
back
you very
in
much.
after you have the baby and try the products,
Yes.
and we'll talk about the bundle.
Yes, part 2.
Absolutely.
Yeah, part 2. There you go.
Mhm.
All right, ladies. Thank you.
Thank you.